Hello there from the Comic-Con Museum. We are here for the debut. It's the evening reception for Worlds of Wonder. So the Doctor Who exhibit. I'm going to flip it back around here so we have the stage. They've said they're starting promptly at 6, so imagine any second here going to be taking the stage. This exhibit opens to the public tomorrow. You'll see that in the artwork there for the poster.
Once again, we are moments away, ladies and gentlemen. Find a nice spot. Rita is getting ready to roll.
And it runs through March 14th of 2026. So if you are coming out to Comic-Con this year, or just San Diego in general, at any point, you've got 12 months
All right.
of the exhibit.
Ladies and gentlemen, if I could
Hey
have
there,
everyone's
Manny.
attention. Once again, Doctor Who Worlds of Wonder, where science meets fiction. Please welcome Rita Vanderhoff, Executive Director of the Comic-Con Museum.
Good evening. Welcome, Doctor Who enthusiasts, friends of science, imagination, and the popular arts. I'm Rita Vanderdahl. You've heard that already. I always forget to introduce myself, so I'm doing it twice tonight. Executive Director of Comic-Con Museum. And it's my pleasure to welcome you to Doctor Who Worlds of Wonder here in beautiful Balboa Park. Tonight we celebrate where science fiction meets scientific reality, and where a simple police box becomes a getaway to infinite possibilities. This is the U.S. premiere of Doctor Who Worlds of Wonder, thanks to Comic-Con for bringing it here. And we couldn't be more thrilled to bring it to Comic-Con's museum in Balboa Park. I'd like to acknowledge those whose support made this exhibit possible. They'll be up on the podium in just a few minutes, but I want to just announce who is here so everyone can know. We have the honor of having the British Consul General, Paul Rennie. We also have Council Member Steve Whitburn, who is our Council Member in District 3. And I want to also recognize Jonathan Glass. Jonathan, thank you for coming out and supporting us. And there are also some members of the Arts and Culture Commission here tonight. We appreciate you coming and your support. And one of my colleagues here, Steve from the Fleet Museum. Thank you, Steve, for being here. I want to give a special acknowledgement to the Comic-Con leadership team. Without this, we wouldn't have this exhibit. And it's an amazing exhibit. You're going to really love it. And you'll get to see it pretty soon. Robin Donlan, our president. Robin. Chief Communications and Strategy Officer, David Glanzer. Chief Technology Officer, Mark Utralby. Eddie Abraham, who is here somewhere, Senior Director of Exhibits, and of programming. He works with us on all of our exhibits and programming at the museum since our inception. Along with many of our board members are here, and I want to thank you, the board, for your support in fostering the museum and bringing it forward. Without them, we would not have this museum, and it's become a reality, and thank you for being here and helping us fuel its growth. We want to thank tonight's sponsor, Kaiser Permanente. Like the doctor's dedication to healing, their commitment to health and wellness makes experiences like this possible. I also would be remiss if I did not thank our team. They have worked tirelessly for 21 days putting this together. We are just, the glue may be still wet, I don't know, but it's done, it's here. We're so happy you're here, and I want them to raise their hands because we have a Sarner exhibition, Sarner, and also all the Comic-Con team that have worked on this, and we really, and some volunteers as well. Thank you guys so much, really. And finally, to our legend members, supporters, and friends, You are the companions on this journey. Thank you for being along for the ride. And now we're going to do something a little different. In honor of this being an international exhibit, we're going to honor our nation and the United Kingdom. And we're going to take a moment to listen to the national anthems of each of these well-known and diverse countries who started together, broke apart, and now are working together again.
All right, thank you very much, Rita. Appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, our master of ceremonies this evening is Claire Strong. Claire is an accomplished media and communications coach with over 20 years of experience as an anchor and reporter with the BBC and KBPS. She is also a meeting facilitator, public speaker, and event MC. She grew up watching Doctor Who in her native England. Please, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause, Claire Strong.
Thank you, Mike. You played the extended version of our national anthem. Brits in the room, did you know the second verse? I was trying to remember it. But, well, listen, I'm just so thrilled to be here tonight. So good evening to all of you. So as Mike mentioned, I am originally from England. You may have detected from the accent. And I grew up watching Doctor Who in the 1980s. And so, for anyone that grew up in England around that time, Doctor Who really was quite the national pastime. And every Saturday evening, I remember my grandparents would come round to my house in Yorkshire and would be sat huddled in front of the fire with a cup of tea in hand, watching Doctor Who and waiting for that iconic theme tune to begin and for the Doctor to whisk us away to another adventure, which was usually the perfect escape to the terrible Yorkshire weather. Hence why I now live in San Diego. A little fun fact actually, my dad was a police officer in the 1980s and he actually worked out of the police box which looked exactly like the TARDIS, which I thought was really, really cool. And another fun fact, the police box was essentially a public phone kiosk, so a telephone kiosk, where officers could report in, take breaks, and even hold detainees. And that flashing light at the top of the TARDIS or police box, that meant it was time for an officer to call into their station. So yes, so Doctor Who certainly has a special place in my heart. So whether you've been a fan since William Hartnell, who played the very first Doctor, or you just hopped aboard with the latest one, tonight is all about celebrating Doctor Who and the amazing legacy it's built. So, without any further ado, it's now my honour to start our programme by introducing to you the British Consul General Paul Rennie, who is based in Los Angeles. He's the senior representative of the UK government in not only Southern California, but also the western region of the US, including Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Hawaii, the US territories of American Samoa, Guam, and Northern Mariana Island. Ambassador Rennie is also an explorer at heart and a passionate advocate for popular art, and he embodies Doctor Who's persona to his core. And those themes, that understanding across differences, makes us stronger. So please welcome Ambassador Rennie.
Thank you very much. I'm conscious so many people made today possible. I felt the least I could do was bring some British weather for you, just to add to the sense of how we're getting together. It's an incredible delight to be here today. I mean, as all of you will know, the Doctor Who journey is one of Britain's greatest exports and greatest legacies. And when I have to travel around the US promoting the UK, these things make my job just so easy. And I've had a bit of a sneak peek inside, and I think what I've loved about the fact that Doctor Who is the sort of longest running sci-fi series in the world is everybody can kind of pick the moment when they got the Doctor Who bug, because you can pick your Doctor. You can literally say, oh, like Sylvester McCoy, I love them, or you catch them later, catch them earlier. And it's kind of wonderful for me that that kind of journey has come together. I should also say at the same time, I'm a bit of a nerd at heart, obviously. And I am so humbled to be able to speak in front of you today. I'm humbled because when I grew up, Doctor Who was like a little brand that we knew about through the BBC. And when I look out at all of you today, some with just incredible shirts, a gentleman who's this kind of phenomenal Doctor Who shirt in a great style, I think how this passion has really lit up so many hearts across the world and here in San Diego. And I obviously want to acknowledge Rita and Courtney from the Comic-Con Museum, massive round of applause, and they've made so much of today possible in terms of their support and bringing it all together. I mean, the Comic-Con Museum has been such a great inspiration, I think, for so many people, and the fact that you now have a permanent place to put wonderful things of British culture like that is incredibly humbling for me. And likewise, Comic-Con itself. Robin and I had a wonderful conversation about the Comic-Con legacy, the Comic-Con journey, how it's brought so many people together. And I think to come full circle, that moment of where Doctor Who brings people together, brings those cultures together, as Councilman Whitman and I were just talking about, that's a really special thing for all of us, that sense of community and that sense of belonging. So all I can say to you is have a wonderful, wonderful time, and I'm so, so grateful to Comic-Con, to the Comic-Con Museum, and all of you here today to help celebrate a wonderful part of the British spirit. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ambassador Rennie. It's clear you love Doctor Who just as much as some of the people in the audience tonight. So thank you so much on behalf of the UK and also the entire audience here this evening. Okay, so we are now going to welcome Council Member Stephen Whitburn to the stage. So he represents District 3 in San Diego, which encompasses downtown San Diego and beautiful Balboa Park, which is where we are today. Even in the rain, it's just gorgeous. I love this place. He is a champion for arts and culture and understands that exhibitions like this one enrich our community far beyond the limitation of these walls. So please welcome Council Member Whitburn.
Well, thank you very much, Claire. I really appreciate that. I feel like I should be doing this with a British accent at this point. Really appreciate all of you being here this evening. It's very rare when San Diegans sometimes venture out in this kind of weather, so I really, it speaks to the event that we're at that everybody made the trek despite the rain and the wind and the cold. It is really my pleasure on behalf of the city of San Diego to welcome you to the Comic-Con Museum, to welcome you to this wonderful exhibit. The city is also very honored to welcome Ambassador Rennie to our city. Thank you very much for coming down here. It's a real honor to have you here, sir. I, too, want to thank Comic-Con, Robin Godlin and David Glanzer, the museum, Reader Mandegay, the board of directors, the Commission for Arts and Culture, the staffs, all the people who have put so much effort and time and love into not only the museum but the exhibit we're here to kick off this evening. And of course, we thank the BBC and Starmer International for bringing this to us. I am proud that this museum and this exhibit are right here in Balboa Park. This is the cultural heart of our city, and for over 100 years, people have come here to be enlightened. They've come here to be inspired by that is historic, by the contemporary, and by the futuristic. And we're going to get a little taste of that, of course, today. And I can tell you that it wasn't that long ago that this museum would have been viewed as being futuristic. It is the first new museum in Balboa Park in 27 years. And what an addition it has been. It has added to our vibrant arts and culture scene, not only in the park, but citywide, with its emphasis on popular arts, from comics to games and film to TV, science fiction, of course. And it has also increased the city's tourism and economic development. So this is a wonderful amenity. It exists because of you, so thank you for supporting it. I appreciate, again, all of you being here tonight, and please enjoy everything that this evening has to offer. Thank you, everybody.
Councilman Whitford. The support of Balboa Park and the arts and culture is so appreciated, so thank you for being here with us tonight. So now I'd like to direct you to the video screen, just to my left, because we're going to have a very special welcome from Ed Cookson, who's the project director of Sana International, who are the producers of Doctor Who Worlds of Wonder. So I'll turn it over to Ed.
Hi all, I'm Ed Cookson, Project Director for Doctor Who Worlds of Wonder. I would have loved to be with you in person for this very special launch event at Comic-Con. It is going to be such a great home for this wonderful exhibition for the coming months. As you'll see, the exhibition is a real celebration of Doctor Who, from the first TARDIS console to bringing together all of the Doctor costumes for the first time. It explores the amazing stories behind the scenes, how the show itself pushed boundaries in television, in visual effects, in things like sound design and electronic music. And throughout the decades, the writers of the show have used it to explore some of the most interesting and important areas of current and future science. So, a huge thank you to everyone at Comic-Con, at BBC Studios, at Sana, and especially all of the TV makers, the scientists, the fans, the prop makers, the suppliers, the freelancers, and all the people who made this happen. I wish you all a wonderful event.
Thank you, Ed. And Ed would find it really ironic that it's teaming it down with rain here. He'd assumed that we'd be having this event in the glorious sunshine with it being San Diego. But thank you so much, Ed, and everyone at Sana International and the BBC. Okay, so as we prepare to step into the TARDIS, I would just like to introduce you to Andrew Davis. He is the project manager for this Doctor Who exhibition. He and his team have spent the past 2.5 weeks working tirelessly with the museum team to install this incredible exhibition, which you are going to absolutely love. So Andrew, please come to the stage.
It's absolutely wonderful to be here. Thank you so much for having us over here. I'd like to say a particular thank you to the ambassador for stealing my line about the weather. It does feel like a bit of a British takeover at the moment, doesn't it?
Scottish weather, I blame the Scottish.
So I've been involved in Doctor Who Worlds of Wonder since its inception back in 2021. I project managed the design and build phase of the project and managed the install into Liverpool, England, Edinburgh, Scotland, and then Wellington, New Zealand. And it is just fantastic to be here at this wonderful venue here in San Diego Comic-Con Museum in this amazing park. And as you say, even in the rain, it's quite a stunning location to be in. It's been an incredible journey bringing this experience to life for fans all around the world. Over the past 4 years, I've had the honour of working with an incredible team of model makers, voiceover artists, scientists, script writers, prop makers, curators, designers, and the list just goes on and on and on. Often these are the people that are, not immediately known, they're kind of a little bit forgotten. So it's nice to remember those fantastic, passionate people who are absolutely hugely involved in Doctor Who from the beginning. It really is a rare to get an opportunity to work with so many talented people. A personal highlight for me was when we recorded the Zoe Wanamaker for the Lady Cassandra exhibit. She was a childhood crush of mine when I was a teenager, so as soon as I had the opportunity to be in the studio with her, I was right there. It really was a pinch me moment. I've also had the joy of visiting the BBC Warehouse, the prop store in South Wales, in Cardiff. And I can just quickly say to you, you think this Doctor Who can be scary at times, you should try being in that warehouse on a rainy Welsh night in November. It is utterly terrifying. So I'd like to thank Rita, and Rita got choked up just then, and I absolutely genuinely know why, and I'm feeling that way a little bit myself, because the people here at Comic-Con, there's so many names to mention: Karen, Jasmine, Lisa, utterly fantastic, passionate, dedicated people who have been an utter joy to work with. So I'd like to pass my heartfelt thanks on to them. Thank you, Lisa. The Doctor once said, "Humans, I think you forget how powerful you are. Lives change worlds. People can save planets or wreck them. That's the choice. Be the best of humanity." The passion, creativity and commitment of everyone involved in this exhibition truly represents the best of what we can be. Thank you, and I really hope you enjoyed Doctor Who Worlds of Wonder. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Andrew, I do have a question for you. Did you tell Zoe that she was your crush?
Oh yes, absolutely.
And how did that go? Thank you so much. And I love that quote you ended with, Andrew, which kind of leads me into my closing remarks, that Doctor Who is just so much more than a TV show. It really is. It's a lens through which we kind of examine our humanity, our relationship with technology, and our place in this huge and wonderful universe. So with that, I'd love for us to move on to the very special ribbon cutting ceremony. So may I invite Ambassador Reddy, Council Member Whitburn, President of Comic-Con Robin Dunlan, David Glanzer, and Rita Van de Gogh, please. Thank you so much to all of you for being here tonight, and we hope you enjoy this amazing exhibition as much as we do. Thank you again for being here. Good evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so we are into the exhibit now, obviously. All the ceremony's over, and this is into the TARDIS.
Hello. It's big around the inside. It is. So, first time ever. Oh,
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
welcome. And our lovely TARDIS. Beautiful.
All right, so all of the doctors gathered in one spot. We'll go from 15 right on down the line.
They kind of have these sitting around, you know, hanging out around Gallifrey. It's a reproduction, but it is screened because it was in the special. So it's, yeah, so, you know, they're heartless. But so these all of them are worn. Yep.
Original designs. So we'll keep kind of an even pace as we go through, as we usually do with these videos. So there'll be more to appreciate if you want to get into the nuance of revisiting, but we'll just try to show it to you all here in about 20 minutes or whatever it takes.
They run you into paradoxes, and the universe doesn't like paradoxes. It seems to protect itself from nonsense. So the paradoxes involving going back, perhaps stopping yourself from making the time machine that sent you back in the first place, those need to be resolved somehow. We don't know if that's possible yet. So right now, it's still an open
I
question.
believe those are all authentic. That's what we're led to believe. So double check on that though.
Well, the laws of physics as we
This is the
understand
part
them
I've been
today
most excited to see
don't allow
myself. It's just some of these
time travel into the future.
incredible pieces.
Slow time down.
K9 is definitely a favorite of ours. K1, 1974, the giant robot. Let's take a step to the side real quick and see some of these artifacts over here as well.
I don't know. We'll find out.
Missy Sonic umbrella, that is fun. So we've watched Doctor Who for about 12 years, so not anywhere near as far back as some, but maybe a little bit under that, but definitely a decent chunk of time, but nowhere near the amount of history that there is for Doctor Who. So even as much as we've watched everything over all of the episodes that have aired for the last 20 years, but that feels like a small drop in the bucket because there's so much before that. So the show's had starts and stops, but you are looking at over, 60 years of history? So it goes way back. Carmel has actually watched She started watching like from episode 1, like black and white serials where very much like original Star Trek, it's kind of endearing that you can kind of see the strings and things like that on them. But it's such a great premise because the Doctor regenerates, and when the Doctor regenerates, he can look different. So you always have a reason to go, and you always have new companions that are joining the Doctor on his journey. And so the show really can go on forever with a lot of the same heart, but different talent. Oh, this is great. So this is from The Crooked. This is The Crooked Man. Very horror-like. It's from the episode Hide. From about 2013. It varies, but pretty commonly, especially these days, as the doctors use it, or the actors can use it to get a lot of Hollywood fame, about 3 seasons. That's kind of a generic, right around about 3 seasons.
My dad sucks. My dad sucks. I know.
Omega first. So this is like a character I'm not familiar with. Omega, First of the Time Lords, 1972. This is part of, it looks like the 10th anniversary special. Let me see if Carmel caught that. Did you catch what the price of the museum is right now?
No, but I'll take it.
She's gonna check that. Clara's orange jumpsuit. Clara, definitely a fan favorite. Sure there'll be lots of pictures taken with that one. Over there we heard the kid saying his dad sucks. That was the doing your voice as a Dalek. So a couple things about the Comic-Con Museum in general, about their exhibits. One, they've really leaned into interactive elements, a lot of touch type things. So this is just an example of one of those. The other thing, like here exploring the cosmos, they really lean into tying these things to educational elements as well. So leaning into that as well. Cool. So tickets generally run $30. There are discounts for students, military, senior citizens as well, and juniors, but 30 as a general. Wow, so these are old school, like the prop crates for these things. So these are from like the 80s, all sorts of stuff. Spaceship from Shada. It's beautiful. Definitely. Yeah, the interactive stuff, that's one of the things we've liked about like on return visits, because the exhibits, there'll be like a new exhibit, you know, downstairs or upstairs that we'll come to, and then we'll circle back through, like that superheroes one they had, the Myths one. I think we were here twice when it was happening. And so like we would hit some of the interactive stuff on one visit and then others on the next time around.
To understand what a black hole really is, you have to appreciate that light is affected by gravity as well as mass volume. So what happens is that you have a lot of mass and energy in some region of space, and it's difficult for things to escape because of the gravitational pull. But it also becomes difficult, if there's enough of it, for light to escape as well. And there's a point at which there's so much mass and energy in that region of space that even light can't escape. So now the object
We have not looked, I think, inside the doors, cabinets of
what
curiosity.
actually
I'm
happens
missing
is that it becomes
some of them. Yeah.
a prison
Guy right
for
there.
whatever matter,
The Whisper Man?
Yes.
whatever light form.
Do you remember Jade?
Everything we know in
The idea is that, alien life, the way it can evolve,
Very different.
very different.
It's great.
One of the wonderful things that's been happening in the last few decades is that our detection technology, telescopes of various kinds, and
What do you think it's gonna look like when we find it?
astronomical objects, have been telling us
Life out there?
that there's certain kinds of regions of
That's a
space
great question.
that have these
I have no idea.
regions of matter and energy.
What do you
So
think?
even if we can't see them because
There are
light
some
comes
theories
directly
that
from them,
gravity,
we know that
because of
they're
gravity,
we can measure their
talking about
effects
gravity,
on things
that
around them.
there are certain
So that's been telling
there's
us
certain
that the only candidates
mobility.
that we know
Well, there might be
that
like
fit
parallel
the bill for those observations are black holes.
quadruped or biped, and it's
Even
because
more
of how
dramatically,
gravity works that
A
the
long,
head, all that stuff.
long
So that's
ago
one theory
prediction
that there will be a
of
lot of
Einstein's
similarity
tell us
as
about
opposed
gravity.
to completely different.
Was that actually
But if you
black
find a
holes
planet
themselves
that develops life that gravity
in
moves
space and
differently,
time? Gravity.
Yeah.
We
It's
know
cool.
What kind of track and who knows?
who knows? In fact, who knows? Which doctor? That's great. So
All right, the Monster Vault. There's one of the things we heard about this exhibit is that there's like some scary elements to it, which there's so many incredible monsters. For those that haven't watched Doctor Who before, there is very much a Monster of the Week element to it. Then there's a lot of repeating monsters as well, but it's so fun when you get those new monsters.
I was going to be like, send that to my sister and be like, I feel like I'm forgetting something important. with the silence right above me. But yeah, one day when it's like not busy, I also need to come in and one of the other
The Meep
cosplays,
is
but
super fun. This is a character that recently came into the series, but started in the comics. And actually, Dave Gibbons, artist behind The Watchmen, created him. So it's just kind of a fun connection there. And then for us personally, we got Dave Gibbons' autograph at San Diego Comic-Con. So a few fun things.
So it's like, I had to buy this, but this one I had to buy this under Blu-ray today.
Yeah, it's a fun show. We started with the Matt Smith era. I believe that was the first episode we watched, was Matt Smith's first episode, and that episode like really drew us in. Like it was very touching. It was very like emotional, but yet full of adventure. And but anyway, that one really sucked us in. I know the Matt Smith era sucked a lot of Americans into Doctor Who. It's when Gallifrey 1 was selling out the most. It's when Comic-Con was most, I think, on fire with Doctor Who. There was something about that Amy Pond, the Doctor, and Rory that really got people excited. And I know it brought us in. We were going to Doctor Who conventions prior to ever watching Doctor Who, which is kind of weird, but it's kind of our thing to try to, try to experience it from the inside. So try to figure out what people liked about it. But that was the era that drew us in for sure. Choose your monster and turn the wheel to find the matching creature. Whoops, sorry. Dune. Interesting. Oh, I see. And then they have the correlations here to kind of give us like where they. So our rhino from our world into what they did, what they take on it in the Judoon. Fun stuff. The Cybermen are some of my favorites. These guys are fantastic looking.
Like they don't always, like most of the time they send you back in time. But if they want That's like probably the creepiest one in the exhibit too. Just like I feel like I shouldn't look away from it.
Stavros, right at the top of the villain mountain there. The Daleks are, like all properties, you've got to have those most consistent villains, and the Daleks way up there, the Cybermen also. So you're going to see, if you do decide to watch some Doctor Who, you're going to see Daleks coming back in and out. You're going to see Cybermen come back in and out. Much like you'd see Klingons in Trek. And real quick before we leave this room, the Weeping Angels are kind of my favorite. So they only move when you close your eyes. They only move when you blink. So you can't blink, or they're gonna get you. Such a good episode. That may be one for a starter episode. Just watch Blink and see what you think of that.
Consume your content and did before I worked here. So like, thank you. I'm like so pumped that you guys come here and you know, please, you gotta do anything to be helpful.
Gadget. So this is from The Wonders of Mars, 2009. Full-size piece there.
Travels to many
Carvanista, man's best friend, maybe. Very kind of Chewbacca-like.
But there's still so much we don't know about our own.
To a certain extent.
Did you know that more people have walked on the moon? Science is always asking questions.
Again, tying in all sorts of real-life science into the world of science fiction here. Let me get this guy real quick.
After all, there are 200 billion stars, and a million sun-like stars.
I love that Comic-Con Museum has this exhibit, much like the Spider-Man exhibit. I don't know, those watching live and those that are watching the replay that got to see the Spider-Man exhibit. That was, I think, that was one of the first exhibits we saw here. And it just was like so fitting, much like Doctor Who. It just like really fits with Comic-Con. And it just felt like the perfect thing to have at the Comic-Con Museum. There are exhibits right now as well if you're coming out in the recent time. Betty Boop still, there's the exhibit celebrating her anniversary downstairs. There is the cosplay kind of museum that they have downstairs as well. This guy. This is a screen-used Fisher King from 2015. That is a monster. Yeah, definitely with you on the Spidey exhibit. I really loved that one. They've had anime exhibits. They had a My Hero Academia exhibit. I love upstairs also where they do the kind of hands-on lab where kids can kind of, and adults as well, can build different things. But also upstairs, they've had a lot of the like classic Comic-Con history like Rick Geary, like early drawings of the toucan. Or I love they did an exhibit with all of the program artwork, or not all of it, but a ton of the program artwork. And I thought that was killer. It's actually the one thing at the museum that I always wish is that they would keep a permanent exhibit of just all of like the Comic-Con programs on display, because that seems to be something that rotates. But I'd love to just see the art constant. It's another great one. This is from Kill the Moon 2014. This is another screen used piece. Got some really good monsters in here. The Face of Bo. Always love when this one shows some interpretation of it shows up as a cosplay.
And it gives you an appreciation of just how fragile, how beautifully robust, and how fragile also human is.
It's quite interesting, given your background and experience, the parallels between life support systems in spacecraft and life support systems in physical.
So, Face of Bo, supposed to be one of the oldest speed in the entire universe. That's what we turn into if we live long enough. Hey there, outside Comic-Con. They did not say it wouldn't be open. It's here through March. When we were out here a few months ago for like the visit before that, they said it would be here during Comic-Con, so I hadn't heard anything about it not being available during Comic-Con, so I would imagine so. We'll double check that tonight, but yeah, at least as of a few months ago, they were like, yeah, it'll be a great tie into San Diego Comic-Con, so I think it's all good to go. Landmans, this is very recent stuff, 2019. I feel like some people that visit the Comic-Con Museum are going to become Doctor Who fans, just if they're monster fans. Because honestly, even watching however many years of Doctor Who, I guess, you know, being here and seeing the monsters all together, or not all of them, just a sampling of them, it's just like, yeah, they really do Monster of the Week really well. Yeah, I'm with you. Cassandra.
They don't, I feel like I like them. But if you're here for fun, if you come,
Cassandra became obsessed with a warped idea. Oh.
Do you know how long I've been waiting for company? This is not your deal, but please don't try. Yes, I'm sure you're positive or it's me, because I'm the last pure him. But please, no waterfalls. Don't even ask. I'm terrified. Just remember how marvelous he is from the long ago, I was like you, all lumps and bumps and curves and cheekbones, and just in the face of the crowd, back when I knew the crowd. These days I find myself keeping more excuse. The price you pay for perfection. Finest surgeons, 708 operations, procedures, and I've never looked like this. How can I be out of neck? I might get laughed at times. Well, it takes work to look this good. There's still a tiny trace of chin that could do smoothing out of it, and my blood needs reaching.
So after 708 cosmetic surgeries, they say she's turned into a quote-unquote bitchy trampoline. So yeah, like all sci-fi, a lot of commentary. on the world we're in. So obviously they're all about the trend for cosmetic surgery and where it goes.
I might be working that day, but I don't know. I mean, we should make more if possible. I did.
It's not just feeling escapism, it's also a reflection of us at our best. Creative, heroic, collaborative, compassionate.
Oh wow, that is awesome.
Just remember, it seems like science fiction to us today may become our reality tomorrow. Our technological abilities and
Silence, another favorite collection of monsters, another favorite episode from the modern run.
And the Doctor will always be there with us, providing an invitation further into the unknown.
What do they call these creatures?
Just touch these two strands together, and the Daleks are finished. Am I that right?
To destroy the Daleks, you can't doubt it.
But I do. Excuse me, colleagues, a moment of your time. May I introduce Miss Sarah Jane Smith? Smith is a journalist who's writing a profile about me in the Sunday Times. I thought it might be useful for her to get a view from the trenches, so to speak. Thanks very much. Why should you think so?
I'm alive.
Alive, she said.
It's sad when it's over.
It's an invention. I'm not a doctor. I am the Doctor. The original.
We're all capable of the most incredible change. We can evolve while still staying true to who we are. We can honor who we've been and choose who we want to be next. Now's your chance. How about it?
Just pull each way. I don't know. Feels different this time. Ow!
You're me. Not me. I think I'm really me. I am completely me.
Who are you?
I'm the Doctor.
So the question about where to start, actually, right here is that's the logo though. Never mind. I thought that was like the breakdown of the whole series. So like I say, I'm very biased just because they always say like your first Doctor is always like the Doctor, and so for us that was the Matt Smith era, Karen Gillan. Yeah, that was ours. So started with the 9th Doctor. I don't know what season it was, but it came out in 2005. Yeah, so we started, probably about 7 years after that. So, but yeah, if you look up Matt Smith, I think that was like 2013 or something like that, 2012. What? We went back to that. Awesome. All right, and then as I said, so this is the end of that exhibit, but yeah, we've got you can see the Betty Boop exhibit down there, got the cosplay stuff down there, and more exhibits up there. So highly suggest checking out. We always have a good time with it. For us, it feels like a place that if we're able to visit like twice, 3 times a year is kind of perfect. And definitely for that Comic-Con fix, that is a big deal to us to get our Comic-Con fix here. So with that said, we are going to wrap up here. This is, kind of like our first Comic-Con live show of the year. To a certain extent, it will kind of continue. In 2 weeks, we'll come a couple days before WonderCon to do a live show there talking about WonderCon and kind of last-minute details. So check that out and hang out with us if you can do that. We'll post all that on the socials, or actually we already have on their socials, but we'll put reminders. And then on WonderCon morning, we will be live from the floor to show you what WonderCon looks like this year, whatever cosplay there is, all of that. And then it's just right around the corner where we'll be sitting out on the lawn over at the Hilton Bayfront talking about what may or may not be coming to Comic-Con 2025. So can't wait to hang out with you guys. Thank you so much. Huge thanks to all of you for joining us here on this Friday night. Until next time, we'll see you in line somewhere. Thank you, Manny. You as well. Have a great one, guys.